Okay, you know what? Screw it. No intro. We're just gonna attempt to talk about this game. So, 99 Nights in the Forest. For those of you who might have missed it, I played this game a couple weeks ago. I recorded my playthrough of getting through roughly 40 nights of this game, where I got effectively one hit by getting trapped in a tree and then having a bear maul me to death. To be quite honest, I wasn't super thrilled about that, and I didn't really think that I would be talking about this game again. That said, when I played that game initially, it had roughly 1.4 million players, and now, several weeks later, it has 1.8 million players. Now, for those of you who can't do math, or don't understand just how massive of a leap even that is, gaining 400,000 players in just a couple of weeks is absurd. So I wanted to take another look at the game, not only to figure out why it suddenly jumped 400,000 players, but also to complete the game, because obviously I didn't finish the game originally and felt like something that would really not be that difficult to accomplish. That said, after completing the game, I wrote a script and then threw it out and then wrote another script and then threw it out, and I just can't make up my damn mind about this game, so we're chucking all of the scripts into the dumpster and we're going off the cuff. So if this video feels like it's all over the place and I don't have a cohesive point, it's because normally I write scripts, or at the very least write bullet points, but with this, I've got nothing. Anyways, I guess the first place that we can start with is talking about the positives about this game, and the second video idea that I was going to go with, which is to basically be an apologist for this game. Something that I think a lot of people probably wouldn't expect from me. Because you see, the reality of the day is that I'm inherently biased against a lot of these really high player count games just by the get-go. And that bias is mostly founded on the fact that so many of these games are just so unbelievably garbage that it's incomprehensible. Souls RNG, Grow a Garden, that bone-breaking game I played a couple days back. So many of these front page games are just so irredeemably bad that when I see something get a ton of players, I just sort of assume that it's garbage right from the get-go and usually enter them with the lowest of the low expectations. The general rule of thumb is that there's probably going to be barely any game, the microtransactions are probably going to be completely out of control, and the game in general, if it is a game, is not going to be very much fun. But the thing is that 99 Nights in a lot of ways surpassed my expectations in several of these categories, meanwhile meeting them in some others. This game is irrefutably a game, which already puts it above so many other games on the front page. That said, I don't think that the game just being a game should just give it a free pass for making hundreds of thousands of dollars and having 1.8 million players. So that then begs the question, if I came to that conclusion already, why would I still even remotely consider saying that the game is worthwhile? Well, I think a lot of that comes down to the feeling of this is very much a almost classic-esque Roblox video game. And so this is the point in the video where I'm going to basically throw out my critic lens in terms of talking about this game as if it's an actual video game, and do something I basically never do, which is talk about the game in just the encompassing area of Roblox itself. If 99 Nights in the Forest came out 6-7 years ago, when I was still a kid playing games on Roblox, it 100% would have fit in with a ton of other games back then. Now, for the record, I'm not saying that the front page games from 6-7 years ago were any good, because I can assure you that they almost certainly were not. That said, in the sea of garbage games like Souls RNG, Grow a Garden, etc., like I've mentioned, 99 Nights really strikes me as something from that almost sort of olden days of Roblox, and it's hard to really explain to people how that is unless you experienced just that era of games. It's not trying to do anything groundbreaking. All of the animations are extremely lackluster and very Roblox. The items are all basically just borderline standard Roblox tools. The gun and shooting mechanics are bare bones as all hell, but really what it comes down to is that for the most part, the game is entertaining. And that's one of those things that's just hard to put into words. I think for roughly half of my second play session for this game, I was actually having a pretty decent time, especially considering that I'd learned a lot from the previous one. Most importantly, of course, that you can activate shift lock with control, which trivializes a lot of things, something that I will be talking about in a minute. But overall, the gameplay loop of scavenging for supplies, having to avoid the monster at night, and heading back to your campfire works relatively well. Now, that said, there's also a lot of bad things that I have to say about this game. A lot of them. First of all, let's talk the spooky. This game is not scary. It isn't. Sure, you're going to tell me, Eclipse, look at the game page. Its maturity rating is ages 5+. Of course you're not going to be afraid of anything. But like, it's as if they didn't even try to make the game even remotely spooky. During the day, absolutely nothing scary ever happens. And during the night, the worst thing that happens is the spooky deer guy shows up and you run the other direction. And that's literally, I promise you, that is the extent of any scares in this game at all. So on a scares front, it fails spectacularly with literally nothing landing, and it just, like, it feels like it's a horror game in name only, I suppose. Moving from that, though, we can talk about something that I shortly touched on earlier, which is the combat of this game, which is truly something else. Generally speaking, the AI is Blox Fruit, so it just walks directly at you all the time, and if you get anything in your way, it'll immediately get stuck on it and not be able to move. That even extends to the spooky, scary monster, which can walk itself directly into a house, get completely stuck, and just unable to get you running in place forever. Now, to be fair, this is absolutely hilarious, but it's also really sad, especially when you have a game with this many people playing it. Come on, guys, you're not even gonna give decent pathfinding to the one enemy in the game that supposedly is supposed to be kind of difficult? Like, listen, if Dead Rails is capable of divvying out the pathfinding and giving certain enemies better pathfinding that show up less in the game, for example, the werewolves, there is zero excuse. Let me stress this, zero, for the singular guy in the game who's supposed to be really threatening to not be able to path at all. In terms of actual fighting, though, it's as bare bones as it gets. You literally click outside of the enemy's range, they can't hit you, and you do damage, and eventually you'll win. Every 1 in 100 things that you run across will have a ranged attack, and these are the only things in the entire game that pose really any sort of a threat, because if you stand still for more than like 0.2 seconds, you'll get hit, and whoever was dialing up the damage on these ranged enemies made them do a ridiculous amount of damage. Why the crossbow ranged guys do more damage than the melee guys and are also the most likely to hit you, I have no idea, but at the end of the day, once you kill all of the ranged guys, the game becomes easy cakewalk again. The point is, once you know what's going on, it's borderline impossible to get killed in this game, unless of course you have something like what happened to me in the previous time I tried to play this game, where you walk into a trap that you didn't know what it was and then are stuck in place. But outside of that, if you're getting killed, God help you, seriously, you fucking suck. There's no way around it. If you die in this game, I have no words for you. Get good. But that's just melee combat. Ranged combat really doesn't fare much better, where you look at the target and shoot the target, and they mindlessly walk towards you until they die. The guns have no recoil, they can reload in your backpack. I mean, at the very least, they had the common courtesy to make it so they do extra damage when you get headshots, which I was honestly a little bit surprised that even existed. But overall, if it's a melee enemy and it's walking straight at you, you can just walk backwards in a straight line and shoot it. And if it's a ranged enemy, you can run left or right until it fires and then stop and line up a headshot, easy peasy. Basically what it comes down to is, as long as you have bullets in this game, you're immortal. So okay, as long as you have bullets, you're immortal, then that begs the question, how do you get bullets? And that's where we move into the overall scavenging of the game, which I also think starts to fall flat later on. 99 Nights is almost advertised as a sort of base building kind of game, but because of the way that the game functions and the lack of general defensive traps and things that you can buy in order to deal with threats, I never ended up building anything, because my immediate assumption was, if I build a wall, I'm going to have to go around the wall anyway in order to kill the enemies that have shown up. What I mean by that is every once in a while, some cultists will attack your camp during the night. And if you don't kill the cultists that night, they're gonna stick around until you do kill them. So hypothetically, if I did want to build walls around my campfire, all I would be doing is delaying the inevitable because I have to go out there and kill the cultists anyway. And the overall time that it would take and resources that it would take to actually fortify your base is completely ass backwards compared to the amount of times it would take to just get some ammo and shoot the bad guys. Which segues us into the ammo problem, which is an extremely similar ammo problem to a different game that I've talked about, Dead Rails. Just like in Dead Rails, if you know what you're doing in this game, you can basically just give yourself unlimited ammo. At the very least, you'll be able to get yourself more ammo than you could ever possibly need. In your base, you can upgrade your crafting bench, and you can eventually get your crafting bench up to a point where you can unlock an ammo box. And in this ammo box, you can use metal that you've found around the map to give yourself bullets. There is more than enough metal around the map to get yourself hundreds of bullets. And as I already mentioned, if you're using bullets, basically nothing can kill you, which then compounds the problem from earlier. If you can give yourself an unlimited supply of the thing that borderline makes you invincible, that's probably a problem. But I think the real thing that killed it for me when it comes to this game is the overall just complete lack of closure. I said that I played the game with the intent of completing the game, and I guess in some ways I technically did, but even after doing it, it certainly doesn't feel that way. When the game starts, it tells you that the main goal of the game is to rescue 4 children that have been captured by the deer walking thing, whatever. These children are in 4 completely identical locked rock camps around the map that you have to upgrade your fire in order to be able to access. When you go over there will be animals that are guarding the area with little color-coded collars. And when you kill all of the animals, it'll drop a key, you can save the kid, bada boom, bada bam. Now, it seemed like the developers did have some foresight in terms of this, because every time that you save a kid, it makes it so that way the night counter goes up by double, triple, quadruple, and 5 times each time. The problem is that, like I said earlier, if you have guns, then they trivialize everything in the game, which means that you can trivialize all of the guards guarding all of the children. And so then you can run into a situation like I did here, where you end up rescuing all of the children by roughly night 40. And I guess they really wanted to stick to the name of the game, 99 Nights in the Forest, because once you rescue the last kid, nothing happens. Literally, I mean it, literally nothing happens after you complete all of the goals in the game. So now you're just left sitting there confused, being like, did the game glitch? Is it still working? Why am I even still playing? What are we doing here? All of the kids are supposedly safe now, so what's the point? Well, the point is to reach 99 nights, of course, because, fuck you, waste more of your time, I guess. So alright, we'll fart around until 99 nights have passed, and finally they do. An extremely low-budget, lackluster cutscene that has no sound effects plays, and then the game keeps going. Okay, now somebody's just fucking with me. So you're gonna tell me that I finished the game, completed it, got the final cutscene of the game, presumably, and it's still going. Why is it still going? This feels like one of those Roblox isms where every game has to go on forever when it just doesn't. And not only that, but if you are going to have your game go on forever and it already ends up with you wasting this much time just waiting around to get to night 99, only for a cutscene to play and then go, all right, keep having fun, I guess, there really should be an option to continue playing. You know what? No, let's go back in time. You know what should happen? What should happen is that when you rescue all of the kids, this stupid cutscene that comes from night 99 should play. It shouldn't force you to wait around until night 99 for a shitty cutscene and then just go, all right, business as usual. That's asinine. Why is it programmed that way? Oh, I know why it's programmed that way. To hope that you slip up and die between whenever you rescue the last kid and night 99. That's the only reason I can come up with. It's stupid, and I won't apologize for it being stupid. So now you see my predicament. I'm torn between pretty classic Roblox, just a kind of fun game, and holy shit, there are all of these obvious issues and just like total lack of polish. How does this thing have 1.8 million players? It doesn't deserve it. And so I'm stuck in between these two places, and I just can't make up my damn mind. So I'm not going to. You decide. Anyways, I'm almost certainly not gonna play it again. So it is what it is. With that said, we're wrapping up today's video. Sorry for the nothing burger today, but I wish I had better things to say. With that, I'm wrapping up. If you enjoyed, you can leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't, don't. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time.